Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I posted a video. Thought maybe you guys might like to take a peek at this old Dodge truck. It's a 1981 Dodge Ram D250. It's time to get it back on the road and get it running. I hadn't driven it in many years, like maybe, I can't even remember, 5 or 6 or 7 or something. I don't know. It is raining. Figure what better day to get a carburetor off. I got to take the carburetor off than a day that a tropical storm is coming. Should be fine, why not? So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys take a peek at this truck and see what you think. So it's a 1981 D250. You can see it's been sitting for a bit. It's actually in pretty fair shape. It doesn't have any rust really on the bottom. We got a little bubble here. I mean, but really, got to get that sorted out. Really, it's not too bad. Somebody put a plate steel in the bed. It's like, I don't know, 1/4 inch thick steel. The whole bed is covered with it. But it is a 3/4 ton. It's got 8 lug axles. Seat split. Just a plain Jane work truck. No carpet or anything. It's a 318 2-barrel with a 727 in it. It does have a transmission issue, and I know that the carburetor, the accelerator pump is gone. I did mess around with it yesterday, and it does run. I got it running. I ran it out of gas, so I don't have any gas in it right now, but I was able to determine that the accelerator pump is no good. So I have a carburetor kit, and we're going to pull the carburetor off and stick a kit in it. Bring you guys along for that. And we'll see if we can't get it cleaned up and ready to work again. But anyway, it's a 2-barrel. It's actually a Holly 2-barrel. But I'm going to get it off and carry it in the shop where it's not raining on me. And I'll see you guys in the shop in just a minute. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump into the video right quick and let you know that while I was editing this video, which I'm not good at all, I realized how much of a fantastic job I did of showing some finer details and some close-up shots of some of the things that you need to look at whenever you freshening up a carburetor. Actually, that's not what I did at all. I did a terrible job of filming that. You know, I was going to show you a couple of close-ups. I was completely off camera. You know, like, hey guys, you know, look at this over here. So, you know, maybe we'll learn from our mistakes and do better next time. I decided to post a video anyway, just because I may mention something that may help somebody that happens to see this video. Um, it may be that you can, I don't know, do some James Bond investigations and see something in the background or something that might help you. If I miss something or you're having trouble with something, just drop a comment down below. I'll try to help you as best I can. and I apologize for that. Also, I did want to let you know that um, I didn't film any of the tuning of the carburetor after I put it back on the truck, mainly because, well, it cranked up and ran pretty good, and I didn't really have to do a whole lot to it. And I mean, I'm not 100% satisfied with it, but we're going to go back and readdress that another day. You know, I got other issues with the transmission, things like that. We got to take care of first. But whenever I do go to dial that carburetor in, I will bring you along with me, and you know, hopefully film it. You know, maybe film us working on the carburetor, not like the fender or something. But anyway, just want to let you guys know about that, and if you would be patient with us, we're learning about it, and I hope that you can get something out of the video. I got a little wet getting that off, but anyways, let's see what kind of surprises we can find with this. Before you start taking stuff off of a carburetor, you want to take a few minutes to check it out and just take note of a few things. One is vacuum ports that are plugged off. You want to make sure that they actually are plugged off, like this one. I think that might cause a drivability problem, I would say. Another thing is this choke pull off. So a lot of people ignore chokes and they don't know how to set them, and then they just put up with the vehicle being hard to start and cold natured, and it really doesn't make sense because it's super simple, and I'm going to show you how to make a vehicle not be so cold natured. This choke pull off right here, it has a pretty important job. It opens the choke when it's cold. This vehicle has what's called a divorce choke. So it has a choke thermostat, and it's a spring, and it's mounted on the intake, and it pushes this up when it's cold, which closes this flap right here. Okay, but when you start the motor, as soon as the engine starts, it pulls vacuum on this, and this pulls it open to a certain amount, and you can adjust how much, and we'll get into that in a little bit right here. So we need to make sure this works, and one of the ways to do that, you can either put a vacuum pump on there and pump it up and see if it's working, or if you don't have one, you don't have to do that. I do have one, but an easy way to do it is just compress it, plug the hole with your finger, and you see how it comes back out. So we know that the diaphragm is no good in this choke pull off. All right, so the next thing is to check is when the choke is closed, right? The choke is closed. We want to make sure the fast idle cam does move in position to make contact with the fast idle screw, the set screw, and this one does. As you can see, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but you can see it does work. The next thing to look for is on the choke, there's a lever here that makes contact with the accelerator pump. And what you want to make sure is when the accelerator, the throttle is all the way closed, as soon as it starts to move, it starts to make contact, and there's a little bit of play here. It starts to make contact with the choke and opens it as the throttle opens. That's pretty important, because if not, it would flood and stumble and hesitate and all that. So if you get that right, and you get this setting right, and this works, it literally will drive off near about like a fuel-injected vehicle. So we're going to set all that stuff up, but it's easier to set that when it's on the vehicle. So while we're talking about chokes, in case I forget, you know, when we put it back on the truck, I'll go ahead and show you. When the choke thermostat is on the vehicle and the carburetor is on the vehicle, and it pushes up on this when it gets cold, so it starts to try to close it, but it's not able to close it when the throttle is closed. So I'm going to maintain, I'm going to keep pushing on it, and you can see it's because right here this cam and the set screw prevents it from closing. So when it's cold and you get in the vehicle and you hear people say we got to set the choke, all you really have to do is mash the accelerator. Well, I got stuff tangled up here. All you really have to do is mash the accelerator enough to unhang it from here and allow the choke to close. So mash the accelerator enough to unhang it and allow the choke to close. So I usually only mash mine about halfway to the floor in the mornings, because that's all it needs. You don't have to do a Michael Jackson tap dance on the gas pedal, and if you do, something is wrong. So what should happen at that point is this should snap shut, and it should be all the way shut. And it should be a little bit of play, maybe 2 seconds of opening all the way. And then when you spin the starter over, this puts a lot more fuel in the engine, and as soon as it cranks, your pull-off pulls it back open to a point where it can run normally. Now, if it stumbles and hesitates and cuts off as it's not getting enough fuel, then we're obviously pulling this too far, and we need to adjust it to be less far, right? Or if it's flooding and you can tell it's flooding, then we need to get a little bit more. So it's just an adjustment. And that adjustment is just simply bending this little rod right here to either have more or less reach here. That's all it is to it. And unfortunately, you can only mess with it like one time a day because, you know, it gets warmed up. But if you stick with it and adjust on it, you know, 2 or 3 days, you'll have it set right. And I'll show you that. Hopefully, maybe we'll do a cold start whenever we get this truck put back together and it finally gets cold outside. But we'll start taking it apart. I'm going to take the choke pull off first. Like a magnet tray, put all my screws in. And all we're going to do is unhook it, lay it to the side. We'll get this gasket off. Huh, 2 gaskets. Alright. Next thing I'll do is take this off. And I did not get a wrench. Let me get a wrench. Is it a 3/16? I can't remember. It's not a 3/16. 11/32. Not a lot of wrench sets come with 11/32 anymore. So it's a little lock washer. I'm going to untangle it. Get off of that. I'm going to put it back on so we don't lose it. Alright. Next thing is the accelerator pump, and it's a little clip on it. I'm going to get that off. Don't want to lose it. Hope it don't go flying across the shop. Come on now. Okay, now we got that. Get it untangled. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and weld. I don't know why, but the federal government likes anti-tamper screws. But really, if you just be patient, a lot of times you can just get them right on out with a flat screwdriver. It's not a lot under this. It's really no need to take it off, but there is one adjustment I want to check. So we gotta look at it. I do know that this carburetor ran really well in the truck before it started sitting, and it wasn't cold natured at all, so I'm not trying to adjust on it a whole lot. As a matter of fact, it runs good now, it just doesn't have accelerator pump. So really, kind of hate to take it apart, to be honest, but we are. So what I want to look at is make sure our power valve setting is correct, and it should have 0 in play at wide open throttle. The power valve is this guy right there, and it's an adjustment right there, and that's the power valve down in the bottom. Hope you guys can see it, but it should be all the way down at wide open throttle, and we're going to go wide open throttle. Oh man, I unhooked the thing. Hold on. See, should have checked that first, you know, but we can hook it back up. Get in there. Alright. So at wide open throttle, it does look like it's all the way down. It's a little bit of play. So we're going to have to yeah, I'm going to adjust on that. When we put it back together, we're going to adjust that. It's supposed to be 0 play. Always, always make sure you have the screwdriver that absolutely fits the best before you start taking these screws out. Because man, will they round out and create a mess. You don't want a mess. Alright, well, we got lucky on all these screws. Come on. We got to get this clip off. It's 2 of them actually. Holds these wires in place. Oh, that wasn't even tight. We're going to put that back. That one was tight. Got it. Alright. Needle and seat, the inlet. We're going to take that. Surprised. Oh, somebody's talking. Okay, let's see if we can get the top off. Well, we got to separate our wires first. Because they go in different directions. Yep. Come on now. Accelerator thought it was good. I don't know why. She don't want to work on this. Yep. It's pretty stinky. Let's lay that to the side. Alright. So, right here, it's like a spring-loaded plate that holds your float in place. But before I yank that thing out, I do want to get a reading on it, if it's possible. Should be about 9/30 seconds from the bottom to the bottom, so to speak. And that is just, and I don't have the right stuff to do it with here, so I might have to guess it, you know. How am I going to do it? I hold it upside down and maybe from the top. I think that's supposed to be. Oh, and they're not level too. That's a problem. Four. 10, 30 seconds on the other side, so that's not right. We're going to fix that. So let's get this thing out. And you want to try to be careful getting it out. take it out slowly and controlled and all that good stuff, which I'm probably not going to do a very good job of. Okay. We got some goo. Yeah, I can see it's twisted. We gotta fix that. That's why you got two pair of pliers here, so you can. Don't ever twist on it with the float. Twist the metal, not the floats. All right, I think I might have got it. Okay. So, see the goo? I don't know if you guys can see it. It's yucky. Let's take some stuff out and clean it. Main jets. Whew. All right, get these out. You got to be super careful not to bend these tabs. Just, golly, I hope you guys can see it. I just don't know. Right here, you got to kind of compress it. I ain't gonna be able to do it and show you like that to get it out. I think I want a bigger screwdriver. Let's see if this will work. Yep. Beautiful. Whew. She is. Yuck. Same thing. Make sure your little springs are on there. Alright. I bet those are stopped up. So gasket down here, we're gonna try to get it off. See the gasket, and there's a ball in there. I don't know if I'm gonna get it to come out or not. And I usually try to be ultra careful with my gaskets because gas cover the kit, sometimes you'll get half the stuff you need and not the other half, and you don't want to be dead in the water. And I got a Walker kit, and I'll be honest, I ain't terribly impressed with it. I don't want to tear that. Let me make sure the box is all banged up. No instructions, which I don't need them, but some people might, and it's good to have them. Well, the gasket looks right. There's the gasket I'm looking for. Okay, so we got a new one, so let me go on and get this thing off. Get off of there. Oh, it is stuck. Okay. Now, about got this one stripped. Probably didn't even need to take that off, but we're going to clean it. Alright, so that's pretty much all it is, taking it apart. If you'll give me a few minutes to clean my parts up, I'll be back with you. Now we're going to put our two jets in, these little fellas. They go in here, if you remember. Might be a bit of a challenge for me, my ogre fingers. What did I do with the flat blade? Just got to be snug so it don't fall out, and you got to wring it off or nothing. Good Lance, I ain't gonna be able to get that one in there. I'm gonna have to put it in there like that. See, sitting in place here and here. Good to go. Now, I want to remind myself, power valve goes on this side, and that's the littler one, this guy. Don't want to drop your parts. So a metering rod goes in there, got a spring on it. Drop it in place. Start it with your fingers, because it'll cross thread pretty easily, and you don't want to go down that road. Snug it. Same song and dance as this is your main valve or metering valve. I think the folks at Holly have a more fancy term, but that's what it does. Works off vacuum, has a vacuum plunger that closes and opens it, and I'll show you that in just a second. Here's your vacuum plunger. Now get your spring in it like so, and it just drops in this hole here like that. You gotta put this guy on it. That keeps it locked into place. Just push it down, work it in there. It's like just a clip, it just pushes in place. That's all it is to that. I just like to check and make sure everything's going to line up before I get too crazy. Slide that out of the way. This is our accelerator pump. We need to put the new rubber piece on it right here, the pump itself. Really, I don't think there's anything wrong with the one I took off of it. These things will fight you sometimes. You just have to, you know, keep at it. Don't let it win. There you go. Alright. We can move that to the side. Let's put our base plate on. New gasket. Make sure all our holes line up correctly. Looks pretty good. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Because the screws go in from the bottom. It'll be a little easier. You make sure you line your dial pins up like so. And the screws. Not them. Where are you at? This one. I might could have done a better job cleaning them screws up. Beautiful. Got to do that at least 3 times. You always want to run them all in, not snug them up yet. You just want to run them down. At least the way I do it. And then look. Make sure you're lined up. You got a tooth hung in it or something crazy. I put this on before I put the float in because I don't want to disturb the float with flipping it over 12 times and all that good stuff. So go ahead and get this put on now. Just go around it. And you want to get it tight enough, you know, not too tight, just right. I don't know what the torque specs is. Once you've built enough of them, you'll kind of know. It's just something you gotta feel. You know? Right on. That's you know, that's how we do it. Alright, I'm gonna put the new needle in. Oh, to put our check ball, which is right here, this guy, in the little hole, and then the little rod that goes to it right there. It's just a weight to hold the check ball down. That's all it is. I'll put our gasket back. Drop that back into place. Alright, now So there's a plate. Where is it at? There it is. It's right here. So you'll put this guy, just drop it in there. Well, now you're gonna drop it in there. It's much harder with this stupid thing. What are you doing? Get in there. Get in there. Alright. That little retainer just keeps it from falling out. Beautiful. Now you can run your needle in. Give it a snug with your 5/8 wrench. Now, make sure she's even, which I think it is. We fix that. And then we're looking for 9/32. It's hard for me to show y'all on the darn thing, camera. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. All right. Let's look at it. Just make sure. We're right on it, 9/32. That'll never happen again. I can't believe it. Guess I got to. All right. So, where is the appropriate gasket? Well, they did give us a measuring device. How nice. Okay. What is that? Mm-hmm. 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 Looks good. Just need to get should have mentioned that if you spray some silicone on your gaskets, a lot of times they won't stick, and then so the next time around you can get it off without tearing your gasket up. You might not have to buy a gasket. So we got to get the spring put on the accelerator pump, and it is a tight little fit, but it'll go on there kind of like so. And if you don't have silicone, which I don't, you can use chain wax for like a four-wheeler. That's what I used. I mean, it works pretty good, actually. So now, we're just going to set the top on. And you got to be careful to make sure that these two plungers fit directly on top of the two valves that are in the bottom of the float bowl right here and here. So it can be a little bit tricky, but you just want to make sure you don't like jam it down there and force it and bend it and you know, stuff like that. And of course, probably got wires in the way, and got to keep your gasket lined up. You got to get the accelerator pump to fit in there. Try to peek. Get in there. Alright, it's in there. Now I gotta line the gasket up. Perfect. Alright, and I want to push down on that plunger. Oh yeah. Perfect. So, now I'm going to drop some screws in place. I usually try to put the fall corners in there, just to hold it. Now you want to inspect it and make sure it's flush. You got a wire pinched or anything? Alright, usually I start from the inside out. Snug it, snug it, snug it, snug, make like an X pattern, and do it again. Now, remember this little rod here. The accelerator pump's got the, well, where did it go? What did I do with it? It's got the clip that holds it, little keeper. There we go. This guy, you got to kind of, I might should have put that on before, fish it in there. I should have definitely put that on before. Alright. Got it. Now, the little bitty retainer, did it give me a new one? Huh, they did. So, I'll still try to use this one, but I'm not above grabbing that new one, I'll tell you that. I ain't gonna fight with it so much. Get it in there, little bitty hole. Well, that went a little better than I expected. Okay. Make sure it won't come out. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see that little bitty clip right there. That's on the accelerator pump. Now if you remember, that power valve, we're supposed to adjust it because if you hold it wide open, the power valve should be basically at the floor. And it's not. So it's a little screw right there. I don't know what you can see. The power valve's at the bottom. If you can push it down, then it needs to be adjusted, and I can. So I'm going to snug it up. And this screw turns hard on purpose so it don't fall out. You don't want to bury it down in there where it's going to damage it. Just close to the floor. A little bit more. Get in there. Let's see. I'm going to loosen it up just a hair. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Loosen it. I don't want it to be jamming in it. Alright, she's pretty close. Okay. I'm going to drop this gasket on there. Well, I thought it was. What in the world am I doing wrong here? Got the wrong gasket. It's this guy. There. Okay. I'm going to spray a little chain lube on it. Like such. I did not clean up that bracket. What was I thinking? She's rusty. Should have painted it. It'd be alright. I'm trying to win new car shows. Let's put these tiny little bitty tamper-proof screws back. Don't tell nobody we tampered them. It's gonna be aggravating. Get in there. One more. There she goes. Should have replaced them with some regular screws, but then you know you gotta go to town and dig through the parts bin and all that. Let's just try to get away with it one more time. Don't put them too tight, we can get them back out without too much trouble. Perfect. Alright. Next order of business. Put the choke lever back on. Take our nut off. Hot washer. Try to get it untangled and, you know, remember how it was and whatnot. Goes behind there. There it goes. Not right. Come on now, work with me here. Alright. Now, washer. Our container. Where's my wrench? Don't wring it off, just get her snug. Like that. Perfect. Alright. We got put our little wire clips back on. So what it looked like, we did a high quality job, see? Get back in there. Come on now. Just as good as the factory did almost. Oh, turn it around. Bet most people throw that stuff in the garbage, but you can throw it in the garbage if you want to. I just like things to look nice like it's supposed to. If I can help it. I ain't above throwing it in the garbage. Alright. Nice. Now, this guy, I got a brand new one right here, hopefully. I mean, why does it gotta seal it? Great, that's gonna be dead in the water. I can't get that out here. I'll have to take that home. Yep, don't got a pump. Alright, give me a minute to switch these out. Of course, the rod didn't come with it. I'll be back. Alright, I got it in there. It's just a roll pin. You see on the old one, you just tap it out, see how it is, and then put it on the new one. I had to take it to the vise, and I don't have the camera set up over there, so it's just a roll pin. Alright, I'm going to, simple as it can be, hook this in there, get our screws. Start both of them before you tighten them. Alright. Now, so again, the choke thermostat's going to push it shut, like so. Well, it's going to be like this. Choke thermostat's going to be trying to push it. It'll be under spring pressure. Alright? And then you're going to get in the truck, you know, the car, and max accelerator, and that's going to allow it to shut. And it's going to also trip this cam over here for high idle. Then you're going to turn the key. You don't have to stomp the gas pedal a bunch. And when the engine fires, this is going to pull the choke open to about there. And that should make it run fantastic. But we're going to see. And I'll have to show you that when we get it on the truck. So, let's go put it on the truck. Alright. In case you didn't know, well, it's raining again. every single time I get a chance to work on something outside, I gotta do it in the rain. Let's see if we can get the carburetor put on it in the rain again. It's hard to get to vacuum lines first. Do you remember the last time you had trouble with your rear end and you kept the grease bottle empty, the grease bottle laying around for some unknown reason? Well, this is the reason why. You put a little gas in it, get you a fitting that fits your carburetor, right? Stick it on there. You gotta fight with it sometimes, of course. And just rev it up there a little bit. Now, you put a little bit of gas in the float bowl, we hope. So hopefully, we don't got to spin the motor over 1,000 times. Notice I said hopefully. Then you just want to take it back off. Put your original fuel line back on. Yeah. Always you want to use a line wrench. You have a better chance of not twisting it off. Alright. Now all I want to do is just spin it over and see if the choke and everything works like it's supposed to. Might not be enough gas in the bowl to start it. I don't know. Have to see. Yeah, choke's set, so it should be good. more happy. One thing I should have mentioned is I replaced the fuel filter. And on a Dodge, a lot of Dodges, you'll see this third line. And a lot of people delete them. Don't delete on them if you can help it. That's actually a ported, it's ported to a certain size. This acts as a fuel pressure regulator. And it helps ease the pressure on the fuel pump by letting the excess pressure go back to the tank. So don't delete on these if you can help it. Well, let's see if we can make it around the block. Might better check the lights. All right, well, we got one tail light. Oh, okay, we got brake lights. All right, that's all that matters. It's been a long time since I drove this old truck. I hope we don't break down. It's too close to supper time to be going on a test drive, I tell you that. I can't believe this truck has brakes. It's crazy. Well, the old truck made it back. We'll try to get it cleaned up, and we got a few other things to do to it. The transmission wants to stay in high gear when you come to a stop sign, and it's got a lock-up torque converter, and it wants to slip or either come in and out and in and out. I can't really tell which, but we're gonna have to look into that. I may just rebuild another transmission and stick in it, but it does run a lot better. It runs pretty good. It made it. Son's putting the air cleaner back on it. But when we get some updates, we'll post another video. See y'all next time.